Jessica Hayes drummed her fingers against the control panel of her survey ship, watching the swirling blue-white marble of Earth rotate beneath her. As a junior surveyor for the Galactic Council, she'd visited dozens of developing worlds, but something about this one made her pause. Survey log, Day 3. She spoke into her recorder. Standard orbital observation of Sol 3, locally known as Earth. Preliminary scans indicate. She hesitated, then continued. Actually, computer. Pause recording. The holographic display before her flickered with environmental readings that didn't make sense. According to the Standard Habitability Index, this planet should be classified as borderline hostile to intelligent life. The gravity was crushing, the temperature swings were extreme, and the atmospheric composition included several toxic elements. Yet the dominant species not only survived but seemed to be thriving. She switched her observation feed to a location called Montana, where her scans had detected a significant human settlement. Through the high-resolution imager, she watched a human male. Her database identified him as Mike Thompson. Working outdoors in temperatures her sensors registered as barely above freezing. He wore minimal protective gear as he repaired something called a fence, occasionally pausing to drink a steaming liquid that her chemical analyzer warned contained dangerous levels of caffeine. Computer, resume recording, Jessica said, making a decision that would later be marked as the turning point in galactic history. Preliminary scans suggest Sol 3 requires additional study. The dominant species displays remarkable environmental adaptability that warrants further investigation. She knew she was already breaking protocol. Junior surveyors were supposed to spend exactly 2 days per developing world, submit their reports, and move on. But she had already spent 3 days here, and she couldn't shake the feeling that her superiors needed to know more about these humans. The next day found her ship hovering invisibly over a region called Death Valley. The name had caught her attention. Surely a place humans had deemed too hostile for habitation. Instead, she watched in astonishment as recreational vehicles moved through the area, carrying humans who voluntarily visited one of the hottest places on their planet for fun. Her fingers flew over the control panel as she composed her report to the Galactic Council. How could she make them understand? These humans treated environmental extremes as minor inconveniences. They lived in deserts and tundras, mountains and valleys, thriving in conditions that would require extensive terraforming for most known species. Addendum to Survey Report Sol 3, she recorded. While the technological level remains pre-FTL, placing them in the standard Class 3 developing civilization category, I strongly recommend. She took a deep breath. Knowing this could cost her her job, I strongly recommend establishing covered observation posts. The human's physiological resilience suggests potential significant contributions to galactic medical science and xenobiology. The response from her superiors came swiftly. Report received. Recommendation noted but denied. Return to standard survey route immediately. Jessica stared at the message for a long moment, then did something that would have gotten her expelled from the Surveyor Academy had anyone discovered it. She programmed her ship's communication array to detect and monitor human broadcast signals, particularly from the Montana region. She would continue her survey route as ordered, but she would maintain a secret connection to this fascinating world. Just before breaking orbit, she recorded one final personal log. There's something special about Earth and its humans. They don't just survive their world's hostile conditions, they embrace them. They seek out new challenges, adapt to them, thrive in them. The Galactic Council sees an unremarkable world, but I see potential. I see strength, and I have a feeling the galaxy isn't ready for what these humans will bring to it. As her ship disappeared into FTL, Jessica didn't know that her small act of rebellion, maintaining that secret communication link, would soon help save a group of stranded aliens and begin Earth's journey from unremarkable to legendary. Captain Amanda Foster squinted through the helicopter's windshield at the storm raging around them. The Siberian winter had outdone itself this year, with temperatures dropping to minus 43 degrees Celsius and wind speeds that made flying nearly impossible. But somewhere out there was what her team thought was a downed aircraft, and she'd be damned if she'd let anyone freeze to death on her watch. 5 minutes to the crash site, her co-pilot, Dave Martins, announced over the intercom. Though I gotta say, Cap, these readings are weird. Never seen an emergency beacon like this before. Amanda adjusted her thermal gear, double-checking the medical supplies they'd brought. Weird or not, someone's out there in this mess. Jackson, Chen, you two ready back there? Her two rescue specialists gave thumbs up, their faces barely visible through their cold weather gear. All four of them had worked together for years in Alaska's most challenging conditions. They were the best at what they did, but none of their training had prepared them for what they were about to find. The helicopter's searchlight cut through the swirling snow, illuminating a sight that made Amanda's heart skip a beat. The aircraft was like nothing she'd ever seen. Sleek, silver, and distinctly not human in design. Its hull bore scorch marks and what looked like ice damage, but it was unmistakably alien. Holy shit, Martins whispered, then immediately switched to professional mode. Cap, what's the call? Amanda took exactly 3 seconds to adjust to this new reality. We do our jobs. Someone's in trouble, human or not. Get us down there. The landing was tricky in the high winds, but Martinez was the best pilot in Alaska for a reason. As soon as they touched down, Amanda and her team moved toward the alien vessel. They found the entry point by following a trail of strange, luminescent fluid in the snow. Inside, they discovered 5 beings huddled in what appeared to be the ship's main cabin. Their skin was a pale lavender, and they had too many fingers, but their expressions of pain and fear were unmistakably familiar. I'm Captain Foster, Amanda announced clearly, holding up her empty hands. We're here to help. One of the aliens moved forward, speaking in a series of musical tones that somehow transformed into English, probably through some kind of translator. I am Trading Chief Vextra. Our ship, we didn't expect. How are you even functioning in these temperatures? Amanda was already directing her team to begin emergency care. This is just Tuesday in Alaska. Jackson, get the thermal blankets. Chen, prep the portable heaters. You don't understand. Vextra insisted, watching in amazement as the humans efficiently moved around the cabin. Our environmental systems failed. These temperatures, they're fatal to our species. Yet you're moving, working, surviving in them with just those thin layers of cloth and plastic. Amanda paused in the middle of checking an alien's vital signs, or what she assumed were vital signs. This cold's dangerous for us too, but we've adapted. Now, let's get you folks warmed up. Martins, radio for backup. We're going to need a secure transport to our remote facility. Hours later, with the aliens safely transferred to a heated medical center and their ship under repair, Amanda sat sharing her emergency flask of whiskey with Vextra. The trading chief had been hesitant at first, but after running it through some kind of analysis device, they'd taken a sip, and their eyes had widened in shock. This substance, Vextra held up the flask with trembling hands. It contains molecules that could cure the degenerative crystal disease that plagues our young. How do you drink this caustic miracle so casually? Amanda chuckled, taking back her flask. Whiskey? That's not even the strong stuff. Wait till you try vodka. The news of the rescue spread quickly through official and unofficial channels. Within weeks, Earth whiskey became the most valuable substance in 3-star systems, and Amanda found herself dealing with a new problem. Alien ships deliberately crash landing in cold regions, hoping to be rescued by humans who treated lethal environments as minor inconveniences. The Galactic Council could no longer ignore Earth, especially after a certain junior surveyor named Jessica Hayes came forward with detailed reports about humanity's extraordinary environmental adaptability. Earth's story was just beginning, and Amanda Foster's rescue mission had unwittingly written its first chapter. Hey science fans, Dr. Jack Mitchell here. The enthusiastic biology teacher adjusted his camera while setting up his latest video. Today, we've got something special. One of our alien friends dropped off what they call deadly toxic crystals. Apparently, it's their version of candy. Jack grinned at the camera, his home studio's lights reflecting off the safety goggles he wore mostly for show. Since the Rixian incident in Siberia, more aliens had been making accidental contact with Earth, and a few had become regular viewers of his small science channel. What started as simple chemistry demonstrations had evolved into something much more interesting. Now, according to the warning label, yes, alien candy has warning labels. This contains something called concentrated zorathine. It's supposedly lethal to most species. He held up the iridescent crystal. But here's the thing. Zorathine is just a fancy name for what we Earth folks call capsaicin. That's right, space candy is basically super spicy rock candy. Without hesitation, Jack popped the crystal into his mouth. His eyes widened. Oh wow, that's got a kick. I'd rate this about 2 million Scoville units, spicier than a Carolina Reaper, but not quite call the fire department level. The video cut to him drinking milk directly from the gallon jug. Pro tip: milk neutralizes capsaicin regardless of its planetary origin. Science. What Jack didn't know was that his video had just sparked an interstellar incident. Within hours, the Galactic Council's Department of Information Control was flooded with panic reports. Millions of aliens had watched in horror as a human casually consumed enough zorathine to kill a small city. In her office at the council headquarters, senior information controller HFY struggled to contain the situation. We must delete this immediately. The humans are clearly trying to intimidate other species with displays of their toxic resistance. Her assistant nervously cleared their throat. Man, it's too late. The video has been copied to over 10,000 worlds. And there's more. More indeed. Jack's subscriber count had exploded overnight. His inbox was flooded with alien messages, many offering to send him their species' most dangerous substances, for science, of course. His follow-up video, Human Tries Alien Energy Drinks, Woyarning, contains actual radiation, broke the galactic internet. This is insanity, Jack muttered, scrolling through comments on his latest video. Half these viewers think I'm some kind of superhuman test subject. The other half are convinced Earth is a death world designed to create invincible warriors. His phone rang. Another interview request, this time from something called the Greater Galactic Broadcasting Network. Dr. Mitchell, the translator, rendered a musical alien voice. Our viewers are fascinated by your consumption of toxic substances. Would you be willing to demonstrate your species' legendary resistance live on our network? We can offer significant compensation in rare elements. Jack laughed. Look, I'm just a high school science teacher, trying to show that science is fun. But rare elements, you say? My school's chemistry lab could use an upgrade. The resulting show became the most watched broadcast in galactic history. Jack, along with several other human volunteers, demonstrated everyday Earth activities that aliens found horrifying. Drinking coffee. You extract poison from beans and drink it for energy. Eating cheese. Deliberately consuming spoiled milk proteins. And the grand final. A hot wing challenge that caused 3 alien observers to faint and sparked a galactic debate about whether humans were actually immune to all toxins. The Galactic Council's attempts to dismiss the videos as fake news backfired spectacularly. Soon, other humans began sharing their own extreme videos. Surfers riding waves. They balance on liquid dihydrogen monoxide for fun. Children playing in snow, exposing their young to frozen water crystals. And someone eating a pineapple. The fruit literally tries to digest you while you digest it. As Jack's channel passed 1 billion alien subscribers, he added a new disclaimer to his videos. Warning, I'm not special. I'm just a regular human. Yes, all of us can do this. No, we don't know why. Please stop sending me your deadly pets to play with. I already have a cat, and she's far more dangerous than anything you've got. The galaxy would never be the same, and it was all thanks to a science teacher who decided to taste alien candy for his viewers' entertainment. Dr. Emily Roberts stood at the edge of the deep-sea research vessel, watching the submersibles feed with growing excitement. Beside her, her alien research partner Zixtal was having what humans would call a nervous breakdown. "You can't seriously intend to go down there," Zixtal chittered, their crystalline exoskeleton vibrating with anxiety. "The pressure at that depth would crush a standard starship hull." Emily checked her diving gear one last time. "These hydrothermal vents are perfectly safe with the right equipment. Besides, how else are we going to collect samples from the extremophile colonies?" Their joint research had started 3 months ago, when Zixtal's prestigious Xenobiology Institute had finally approved a scientific mission to Earth. What was supposed to be a routine study of a Class 3 planet's biology had turned into something far more significant. Recording log entry, Emily spoke into her tablet. "Preparing for descent to the Dragon's Breath vent field. Water temperature near the vents exceeds 400 degrees Celsius, with ambient pressure at 300 times Earth's surface atmosphere. Perfect conditions for studying how life adapts to extreme environments." Zixtal made a sound that the translator rendered as a mix between a laugh and a scream. "Perfect conditions. Dr. Roberts, these are the same conditions we use to sterilize medical equipment." The dive was successful, though Zixtal required 3 cycles of meditation after watching Emily casually swim near temperatures that could flash boil most species. But it was their analysis of the samples that changed everything. In the ship's lab, Emily frowned at the results on her screen. "This can't be right. Zixtal, can you verify these readings?" The alien scientist moved their sensory appendages over the equipment. "The readings are accurate. But this means, by the cosmic core, this means Earth's baseline conditions are comparable to other planets' extreme environments," Emily finished, her voice filled with wonder. "The pressure, gravity, temperature variations, atmospheric composition, everything we consider normal would be classified as survival threshold conditions anywhere else in the galaxy." Their paper, Terra Extremis, Comprehensive Analysis of Earth as a Class 1 Death World, was submitted to the Galactic Scientific Assembly with little fanfare. Neither scientist expected the chaos that would follow. The presentation hall was packed with representatives from every major spacefaring species. Emily stood on the stage, clicking through slides that showed ordinary Earth scenes. Children building snowmen, surfers riding waves, hikers climbing mountains. As you can see, she gestured to the data overlays. Humans don't just survive in these conditions. We actively seek them out for recreation. What you consider environmental hazards, we call weekend activities. The footage of a kindergarten playground caused several delegates to require medical attention. The concept of letting young humans play in open atmospheric conditions, exposed to raw solar radiation, albeit through clouds, was too much for some to handle. But the most remarkable finding, Emily continued, trying not to smile as Zixtal distributed motion sickness bags to the audience, is that Earth's conditions have driven human evolution in unexpected ways. Our bones are dense enough to survive what other species would consider crushing gravity. Our temperature regulation systems are incredibly robust. And our immune systems, she paused for effect, are so aggressive that they can fight off infections that would devastate other worlds. The questions session was chaos. "You're saying humans let their offspring play in dihydrogen monoxide precipitate. Those mountains, you climb them voluntarily. What do you mean you sleep for hours in a state of unconsciousness every single day?" Later, in the conference hotel's bar, after convincing the staff that yes, humans could safely consume ethanol, Emily and Zixtal watched the galactic news networks explode with their findings. "You know what this means, don't you?" Zixtal said, their crystalline form refracting the bar's lights. "The galaxy will never see Earth the same way again." Emily sipped her toxic coffee, watching headlines scroll across the screens. Earth REVEALED as DEATH D. Humans. The Universes ULTAMATESURVIVORS. Galactic Council KL's EMMRG and SUYAZESSION to HFY Sci-Fi Earth. Maybe that's not such a bad thing, she replied. Sometimes the most extraordinary things come from the harshest conditions. Just ask those bacteria we found living in acid hot springs. Zixtal shuddered. Please don't remind me. I still can't believe you humans have something called hot springs resorts where you voluntarily immerse yourselves in near-boiling water. Want to try the sauna next? The alien's horrified screech made everyone in the bar laugh. Earth's reputation was changing, one scientific revelation at a time. Welcome back to Play Like a Human. I'm your host, Marcus Williams, and today we're teaching our alien friends about a little thing called hockey. The former NFL linebacker turned intergalactic celebrity grinned at the hovering camera drones as his guests. A group of anti-gravity evolved floatarians stared in horror at the ice rink before them. You intentionally accelerate across frozen water? Asked Click, their translucent body pulsing with nervous lights, while other humans strike you with sticks and a solid projectile. Marcus laughed, his breath visible in the cold arena air. That's just the beginning. Wait until you see what checking is. But first, let's get you all on skates. The show's latest episode was already breaking galactic viewing records. Previous segments featuring basketball, they jumped their entire body length. Rugby, voluntary repeated impact sports, and rock climbing, they ascend vertical surfaces for fun, had made Marcus the most watched being in known space. Remember, folks, Marcus addressed the camera while helping a wobbling floatarian stand on ice skates. What seems extreme to you is just another Saturday afternoon for us humans. Now let's talk about something really crazy. Professional wrestling. The episode had to be paused 3 times when various alien guests fainted at the concept of choreographed combat entertainment. The demonstration of a simple body slam caused a minor diplomatic incident, with 2 species filing formal complaints about displaying acts of impossible physical tolerance. Back in his production office, Marcus scrolled through viewer messages on his quantum-linked tablet. Most were variations of "How are humans still alive?" and "Is your species immune to physical damage?" But one message caught his eye. An invitation to bring his show to the Galactic Olympics. They want us to demonstrate human sports at the opening ceremony, he told his producer, Rachel Torres. Apparently, we're causing a revolution in how other species think about physical capabilities. Rachel wasn't surprised. Their show had already spawned dozens of imitators across the galaxy. Survive Earth Sports was a hit reality series where alien athletes attempted human activities under carefully controlled conditions. Human Watch had become the most popular documentary series in 3 spiral arms, with aliens observing everyday human activities in fascinated horror. You should see the latest ratings, Rachel said, pulling up a holographic chart. The episode where we taught those silicon-based life forms to surf. 17 trillion viewers. They're calling it the most terrifying and compelling entertainment ever broadcast. Marcus chuckled, remembering how the crystalline aliens had been simultaneously terrified and fascinated by the concept of riding liquid water waves for fun. What's really interesting is how it's changing alien culture. Did you see that some species are actually trying to adapt human sports for their own abilities? He pulled up footage of a recent Centaurian game. They'd modified basketball for their 6-armed physiology, though they still refused to jump as high as humans, claiming it was unnecessarily risky behavior. The next episode of Play Like a Human featured something truly revolutionary. The first ever intergalactic soccer match. Marcus coached a team of mixed alien species against a human high school junior varsity team. The aliens had spent months training to match human endurance levels. The game ended 5-0 in favor of the humans, But that wasn't the point. The real victory was in the post-game interviews. "I never understood why humans pushed their physical limits," said Tizax, a tentacled midfielder from the Crab Nebula. "But today, running under Earth's crushing gravity, feeling my body adapt and grow stronger, I finally get it. It's not about survival. It's about proving what's possible." The clip went viral across all known space. Soon, Earth-style training facilities began appearing on other worlds. Species that had once considered physical exertion dangerous were now cautiously exploring their own limits. Personal protective equipment manufacturers couldn't keep up with the demand for human-grade safety gear. Marcus ended each episode the same way. "Remember, folks, we humans didn't become this way because we're special. We became this way because we never stopped pushing boundaries. Now, who's ready to learn about something really crazy called parkour?" The Galactic Censorship Board tried to ban that episode, claiming it could encourage dangerous behavior. They failed. The audience demand was too high. Everyone wanted to see what these incredible humans would do next. Dr. James Cooper sneezed, causing the alien medical staff to leap back in terror. "Fascinating," said Chief Medical Officer Venra, safely behind a quantum-sealed barrier. "Your immune system actively expels potential pathogens, and you say this is common?" "Just a cold," James replied, wiping his nose. "Nothing to worry about." "Now, about this plague." "QUARA anti-inhibitoriash," screamed an automated system. "Human microbes detected." "Override code Cooper Alpha," James sighed. "We've been through this. My human microbes are why I'm here, remember?" The Nexus plague had appeared 3 months ago, devastating alien populations across 17 systems. Traditional treatments failed, and the death toll was rising. That's when someone remembered Dr. Emily Roberts' research about Earth's aggressive immune systems. James studied the holographic display showing the plague's structure. "There's something familiar about this. Computer, compare with Earth's rhinovirus family." The comparison made him sit up straight. "Well, I'll be damned. Your apocalyptic plague is a cousin of the common cold." "Impossible." Venra's crystalline form shimmered with agitation. "The Nexus plague resists our most advanced treatments. It adapts to every countermeasure. It's the most sophisticated pathogen we've ever—" "Yeah, that's what the cold virus does," James interrupted. "Humanity's been dealing with it for millennia. Our immune systems learn to cope, but we never fully beat it. We just live with it." The implications hit Venra like a gravity wave. Your species continuously survives exposure to a pathogen this complex, without treatment. "Why do you think we're always sneezing?" James grinned. "Now, about those blood samples you requested." Within days, hospitals across affected systems were receiving shipments of human blood plasma. The antibodies that humanity had developed over thousands of years of fighting cold viruses proved effective against the plague. But it wasn't enough. "We need more donors," James told the emergency session of the Galactic Medical Council, "and we need to develop a permanent solution. I'm proposing something radical. We need to create a modified vaccine using human immunological responses as a template." The council chambers erupted in chaos. "You want to introduce human biological elements into other species. Would you prefer watching billions die?" James countered. "Besides, we've already proven it's safe. The plasma treatments work. This is just the next logical step." His holocall that evening with Dr. Emily Roberts, now a leading expert on human biological uniqueness, was more encouraging. "Your theory makes sense," she said, her image flickering slightly across interstellar distances. "Earth's pathogen load is extraordinarily high compared to other worlds. Our immune systems had to become exceptional just to cope with daily life here." "That's what I figured," James nodded. "Every time an alien medical scanner looks at a human, they think we're fighting off multiple deadly infections. But it's just Tuesday." The vaccine development became the largest cooperative medical project in galactic history. Human volunteers poured in from across Earth, eager to help. James's team worked around the clock, combining human immunological templates with alien biology. There were setbacks. Some species reacted poorly to the first trials. But James kept pushing, refining, adapting, showing the same relentless persistence that had made humanity's immune system so formidable. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A 6-year-old human girl, visiting her alien pen pal in a quarantine ward, caught what she thought was a cold. Instead of getting sick, her immune system casually dismantled the plague virus and developed perfect antibodies. Of course, James exclaimed when he saw the data. Adult immune systems are too specialized. But children's, they're still adaptable, still learning. That's our template. The modified vaccine, based on children's immune responses, worked. As the plague receded, the galaxy faced a startling revelation. Earth's deadly pathogen load hadn't made humanity weak. It had forced them to become extraordinarily resilient. James celebrated by catching another cold, sending his alien colleagues running for cover yet again. You know what's funny? He told Venra. Humans spent centuries thinking Earth's diseases made us vulnerable. Turns out, they made us strong enough to save the galaxy. The Galactic Council could no longer ignore Earth's significance. The species they had once dismissed as primitive had just demonstrated medical capabilities far beyond anything in known space, and they'd done it with what they considered a minor inconvenience, the common cold. Lieutenant Kate Rodriguez adjusted her dress uniform and popped another ghost pepper chip into her mouth, much to the horror of the alien diplomats watching her. The Galactic Council chamber, with its soaring crystalline arches and hovering platforms, had never seen anything quite like this human representative. Distinguished members of the council, she began, casually brushing pepper dust from her fingers. Earth stands ready to accept its responsibilities as a Class 1 exceptional planet. But first, let's address the quantum elephant in the room. Yes, we're terrifying to most of you. A ripple of uncomfortable agreement passed through the assembly. The recent plague crisis had proven Earth's value, but it had also heightened fears about humanity's capabilities. You've seen our videos, Kate continued, pacing the speaking platform with easy confidence. You've watched humans climb mountains, dive into oceans, and eat things that would kill most species. Your scientists have classified Earth as a death world. Your medical experts are still trying to understand how we survive our own immune systems. She paused, taking a sip from her coffee mug, another action that made several delegates flinch. But here's what you're missing. We never knew we were special. Everything we do, everything we are, comes from one simple truth. We never stop trying to overcome our limitations. The chamber's translation matrix struggled to keep up with the emotional resonance in her voice. You see a species that thrives in deadly conditions. We see room for improvement. You call Earth a death world. We call it home. And now, we want to help other species adapt to challenges they thought impossible to overcome. A delegate from the Silicon Collective raised a crystalline appendage. Help us? How? Kate smiled, triggering her presentation hologram. Glad you asked. Earth has already begun developing adaptation protocols. Remember those aliens who learned to play soccer? That was just the beginning. We're proposing a comprehensive program to help other species push their own boundaries, safely and gradually. The presentation showed alien children learning to swim, crystalline beings practicing yoga, and even anti-gravity species experimenting with surface walking. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our physical resilience or our immune systems. It's our ability to adapt and help others do the same. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Kate popped another ghost pepper chip, using the moment to send a quick message to her team back on Earth. The adaptation programs were already showing promising results, with some species reporting increased physical capabilities after just months of human-style training. But there's more, Kate announced, silencing the chamber. Earth is prepared to share all of our medical knowledge, including our understanding of immune system enhancement. Dr. Cooper's team has already developed protocols to safely strengthen other species' biological resilience. She gestured to a holographic display of Earth. We're also opening our planet for controlled scientific study. Yes, Earth is extreme by galactic standards. That makes it perfect for research into adaptation and survival. Under proper safety protocols, of course. The Council's primary speaker, a being of pure energy contained in a crystalline matrix, moved forward. Lieutenant Rodriguez, your proposal is unprecedented. You're suggesting that humans not only accept their classification as a death world species, but wish to actively help others benefit from this status. Exactly, Kate replied, finishing her coffee with a flourish. Earth has never just been about survival. It's about thriving. And now we want to share that knowledge with the galaxy. The vote was unanimous. Earth was formally recognized as a Class 1 exceptional planet, with full council membership and special status as a center for biological and adaptation research. As Kate left the chamber, she overheard two delegates discussing her presentation. Did you see her consuming those red crystalline substances? They're called ghost peppers. They're actually painful to eat. And she did it while giving a diplomatic address. Humans truly are remarkable. And slightly terrifying. Kate smiled, remembering to pack extra chips for the celebration party. Sometimes, the best diplomacy came with a side of spice. Welcome to Extreme Earth Experiences. Ryan O'Connor's voice boomed across the orientation room, where nervous alien tourists clutched their safety briefing tablets. You're about to embark on what the Galactic Tourism Board calls the most thrilling adventure in known space, living like a regular human for 1 week. The company he'd founded had become the galaxy's premier adventure tourism destination. The waiting list was decades long, with some species literally evolving faster than the list moved. Today's schedule includes what we call a regular Sunday, Ryan announced, enjoying the mixture of excitement and terror on his clients' faces. We'll start with something simple, a family barbecue. The group's safety officer, a descendant of the original Rixian traders who'd crash-landed on Earth a century ago, checked everyone's environmental suits. They'd need them for their first activity, walking outside under the raw sunlight. Remember, Ryan continued, humans do this without protective gear. We've engineered these suits to let you experience Earth conditions while keeping you safe. And yes, that includes sampling the food. The barbecue demonstration caused the expected chaos. Watching humans casually cook meat over open flames while standing in direct sunlight was almost too much for some visitors. But it was the hot dogs that really got them. You eat processed meat tubes of unknown origin. For pleasure? Asked a silicon-based being, their crystalline form vibrating with a mixture of horror and fascination. Wait till you try the Ghost Pepper Challenge, Ryan winked. That particular activity had a special waiver form. The afternoon's light recreation included a game of beach volleyball, swimming in the ocean. Humans immersed themselves in wild dihydrogen monoxide. And a roller coaster ride that had to be stopped twice when participants fainted from the G-forces that human children regularly enjoyed. But the real highlight was the ultimate human challenge, a week living with a host family, experiencing daily life on Earth. Ryan's company had carefully selected families who could make aliens feel welcome while still providing an authentic Earth experience. Remember the viral videos from a century ago? Ryan asked during the evening debrief. Dr. Jack Mitchell eating deadly alien candy. Captain Foster rescuing aliens in the Siberian winter. Those were just the beginning. Now you get to experience it all firsthand. The Thompson family in Montana, descendants of the same Mike Thompson who'd caught the attention of surveyor Jessica Hayes, had become legendary hosts. Their ranch offered everything from horseback riding to camping under the stars. Aliens would return home with stories about humans who lived on a property larger than some planetary capitals, raising enormous mammals for food, and sleeping outdoors for fun. But it's not just about the thrills, Ryan explained to a documentary crew filming a centennial special about Earth's journey to legendary status. We're continuing what Lieutenant Rodriguez started in the council chambers. Every alien who experiences Earth learns that they're capable of more than they imagined. He pointed to the wall of evolution. Photographs showing how various species had changed after regular exposure to Earth conditions. The anti-gravity evolved floatarians had developed leg-like appendages. Silicon-based life forms had created new crystalline structures that could withstand higher pressures. Even the energy beings had learned to dense-pack their matrices for enhanced resistance. Earth didn't just become legendary, Ryan said, watching a group of alien children cautiously trying their first ice cream cones. We showed the galaxy that adaptation isn't just about survival. It's about expanding what's possible. The company's slogan, displayed in every known language across their headquarters, said it all. Earth, where the impossible is just another Tuesday. As Ryan prepared for the next day's activities, a kindergarten visit that would probably traumatize half his clients, he couldn't help but smile. A century ago, Earth had been dismissed as an unremarkable world on the edge of the galaxy. Now it was the place every species dreamed of visiting, even if they needed 3 forms of life insurance to do so. The best part, humans were still just being themselves, going about their regular lives, casually defying what the rest of the galaxy considered possible. After all, that's how Earth became the most legendary planet, not by trying to be extraordinary, but by showing that what humans considered ordinary was anything but.